Hi guys, thanks for getting ready with me today. I hope you find some tips and tricks in this routine today. Already gone through my skincare routine. First thing I do is put on my Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. This is the pore minimizing primer. You only need a very little bit. If you use too much, then your face gets greasy, and I already have oily skin, so I don't want to use too much. I just basically dab it in the areas where I have my pore problems, and then I kind of rub it in and distribute it all over the face, making sure to rub it down into my neck, and just making sure it gets all over. Okay, so then I get ready for my foundation, and this is the Kat Von D Lock-It Tattoo Foundation, and I'm in the color 52 Medium. I'm using the Sigma Flat Kabuki F80 brush, and let me tell you guys about this brush. I'm in love. It has actually changed the way I do my foundation. I just put the foundation directly onto the brush and dab it all over my face. Now, this brush is soft yet strong. There are so many bristles in there, and they do not shed. I do not lose a lot of bristles at all. This brush is amazing. No, I am not sponsored by Sigma. I just absolutely love this brush. So then I basically just kind of swirl and tap it all over my face to blend everything in. And I make sure that I take it down my neck to blend it. I get my eyelids and just make sure that the coverage really goes all over everywhere. Now, I did go to Sephora and get matched to get the correct color foundation that I got. They have this little instrument. They touch it to your face in different areas, and it tells you what your color would be for the Kat Von D Tattoo Foundation, and mine matches me perfectly. Now, what I do at the end of my foundation routine is I make sure that I just kind of pat everything in so that it is actually sinking in. It doesn't have any lines or marks. So as you can tell, I'm in a hotel room here. We were away for the weekend, so I'm just digging through my makeup bag to see what I need next. And that is such a pain in the butt when you're not at home at your own vanity where you know where everything is. So now I am going to contour with the Chocolate Soleil Too Faced matte bronzer, and mine is in medium deep. Oh yes, my wonderful splint I'm still dealing with. The brush that I'm using here is just an e.l.f. blush brush. It's nice and soft and poofy, so it kind of gives you, it puts on the product without making it too defined. It kind of also buffs it out as you are applying it. So I just make the kissy face and I apply the bronzer right underneath my cheekbone to give me that contoured shadow. I go back in after I look at both sides and make sure that it is done to my liking. I also contour a little bit under the jawline to try and get rid of one of my many chins there. And then I also do the temples of my forehead to give it a little bit of a sun-kissed glow there. I really love Too Faced products. They have to be my favorite line of products, and that bronzer does not disappoint. So now I'm going in with my blush. This is the Physicians Formula Happy Booster in Natural. And the brush that I am using is an angled blush cheek brush from Mary Kay. I have had this brush for ages. And again, like the Sigma brush, thick, fluffy, and does not lose bristles. I've cleaned it many times. It has held up wonderfully over the years. So basically, I just put it on the apples of my cheeks, blend it back, and then I blend it as best as I can into the contour. Now I'm going in with my Benefit What's Up highlighter. I absolutely love this highlighter. It goes on like a dream, and it is very creamy, smoothie, silky, and it blends very well. So I just put it right above the apples of my cheeks, down the center of my nose, my forehead, my chin, and my Cupid's bow. And then I will just blend it out. You don't want to blend it too heavily because then you're basically just taking the product off. So I just lightly blend it. This brush came in a package that I got from Sephora, and I believe it's a foundation brush. It's just a basic small tapered brush. It came in a little set of a few of them, and I really, really like them, and the purple color is stunning. So I'm just continuing to buff this out, make sure that there isn't any harsh lines. I go around my lips and just making sure everything is the way I would like it to be. Now, digging through my makeup here, I'm going in with the Benefit Erase Paste. This stuff is also fabulous as a concealer. I have wiped off that same tapered brush, and I'm using it in with the concealer. I just dip a very little bit into the pot, dab it onto my under eyes, what am I thinking? And just basically blend it out. And this stuff is very, very thick. So if you like a thick, heavy concealer, this is for you. It works really well, although I have to say, if you have a lot of fine lines under your eyes, you want to make sure that you definitely blend it out really, really well. Next, I'm going in with the Bare Minerals Blemish Remedy, and my color is in Clearly Medium 04. This is basically a loose powder. It does come with a sponge, kind of like a foundation powder puff, and the loose powder is screened through. It's a really cool design, and you just need a little bit. I dab it in to set everything that I have just worked on, all of my foundation, highlighter, concealer. So I just reapply as needed, put more product onto the sponge, and just basically dab it all over so I can pretty much set everything with this powder. And it really works well. Like I said, I have oily skin, and it definitely keeps it set for the day. Next, I go in with the Smashbox Photo Finish Lid Primer, and I've been using this stuff for years. It definitely helps with keeping your eyeshadow set for the day. Now, I have very, very droopy hooded lids. I actually work in the ophthalmic field, and the technical term for that is either ptosis or dermatochalasis. And unfortunately, insurance will not cover blepharoplasty, which is to have your eyelids lifted, until the eyelids are droopy enough to where they obscure your vision. And mine are actually just getting to that point. You can see from the side just how fatty they look. And that has nothing to do with your body weight. The skinniest of people can have very droopy hooded eyelids. So it's important to prime. Next, I am going in with my Ulta eyeshadow. And this is in the color Chianti, Chianti. I'm just using a basic eyeshadow brush. These came in a kit that I got years ago with a bunch of other brushes. And as you'll see, this I'm using as my transition color. I put it directly above where I would see my crease. Now, I determine where my crease is because I have such hooded lids. I keep my eyes open, and I determined where I would make my own crease. As you can see, look at that. Ugh. I make my own crease by leaving my eyes open, and just the crease would be right above my lash line. And then I put the transition color just a bit above that. You want to make sure that you blend, blend, blend. Blending is the key to a good eyeshadow look. You definitely have to blend. Unless, of course, you are doing some sort of glittery look where you pack it on. Now, there are times where I pack eyeshadow on down closer to the lash line to give it a dramatic look, and that you don't have to blend. But when the further up you go on your eye, you definitely have to blend. I can't stress that enough. So now I'm going in with this palette I got from Ulta. I believe it was one of those deals where if you spend X amount of money, you can purchase this little makeup bag, and it has all these different things involved in it. And one of them was this palette. The color that I'm using is called Brownie, and I am using this to cut my crease. Like I said, I've created my own crease, which is naturally much higher. I'm sorry, it is much higher than where my natural crease is. So I basically go in with the color and I cut the crease, and then I pull it down in the outer corner. Now I'm going to do the same on this side. I found where my crease would be, which is much higher than my actual crease. Go in, blend it, and pull it down into the outer corner. And again, even with this, you want to make sure that you blend the edges. Now, I'm using a brush that isn't too fluffy. It's got a little bit of fluff to it, but it's not really thick. So that way I can place the product on and then softly blend out whatever is on the edges. Now I'm using another brush from that same kit, and it was just basically a cheap kit that I got, I believe, off of Amazon. Not too cheap, but definitely not too pricey. And as long as you take care of your brushes, you clean them, and you store them properly, they will last. Now I'm going in, this brush is a little bit fluffier with this highlighter color, and it is called Full Moon. I just dab it directly underneath my brow bone and try and buff it out a little bit. You don't want your highlighter to come down too low. Then it basically defeats the purpose of having it as a highlighter. So I just dab it on, and then I blend it out very gently with a very gentle hand. Now I'm switching up brushes, going back to that that skinnier brush. And I'm just touching up with the brownie color, the outer corners, and pulling it down, basically covering any of the highlighter shade that I felt came down a little too low. I know it seems like you are going over the same areas time and time again, but to get a very good eyeshadow look, it takes time, no matter how long you've been doing eyeshadow. Now, I went to school for cosmetology over 20 years ago and learned how to do this, so it's been a long time for me. Now I'm going in with a large, fluffy, tapered brush and just basically with a very light hand, blending everything out even more, but you don't want to do that, press too hard with that. Now I'm going back in again with the thinner brush and just touching up certain areas, which you don't really need too much work there. You're just basically touching it up. And I feel like that looks good enough for me. Now on to eyeliner. This is upside down because I can't see without my glasses on, but this is the Marc Jacobs eyeliner pencil. Fabulous. Very creamy formula. This is just in the color black. Can't see without my glasses, so I'm just putting them on to grab my mirror and make sure I have everything where I need it to be. I have to use this little handheld magnifying mirror because your girl is blind without her glasses on. I am terrible without glasses. So I am just making a line right above, on the upper lid above my lashes. Just a thin line, not too thick, like I said, this formulation is very, very creamy, so you have to go in very, very lightly, but I do absolutely love this eyeliner. It will definitely stay put for the whole day. So with hooded eyelids, you have to be careful because if you open up your eyes too much before the eyeliner kind of has a second to dry, it will transfer onto the upper lid. So I try and keep my eyes aimed downward as often as possible when I'm applying eyeliner. And you'll notice the lighting keeps going in and out. Nothing I could do about that. I tried, but this is like a little cove area that is a vanity inside this hotel. It was really cute, but unfortunately it seemed like the closer I leaned into the mirror, the yellower the lighting got. Now I'm just going under my lash lid. I take it from the outer corner to close to the inner corner, but not all the way in. Again, you have to be really, really careful because with the hooded lids, you don't want to line your waterline. You want your eyes to look and appear more open. So when you line your waterline with a dark eyeliner, it makes them appear more closed off. So if you have, when I smile, I almost lose my eyes. They almost kind of cinch together completely. So I never want to line my waterline with a dark liner. And I don't feel the need to use a lighter liner. Now this is just a very thin angled brush. This is from that Mary Kay. I've had this a long time. I love it. So what I'm doing is just basically going over the eyeliner that I had just applied. When you have extra skin on your lids, the eyeliner jumps around a lot. And you don't want to constantly pull your eyes tightly because then you can make a line that isn't correctly straight across. So I just let it jump around. And there will be spots that aren't filled in. So then I go in with this angled brush and just kind of brush them all in. And this trick actually works perfectly. It looks like I was able to just effortlessly glide eyeliner on. And as you ladies, I'm sure know, that is not always the case. Next, we have the NYC Individual Eyes palette in 947 Soho Grand. And I am going to take that very light violet purple color with another fluffy brush that is not too thick. And I'm just dabbing it on the lower part of my upper lid just to give it a little bit of a pop of color. Now, I feel that this definitely helps when you have hooded eyelids because when you do look down, it differentiates between where you have done your crease and where your actual lower lid is. I am not blending this out. This is where I was talking about when you want that specific color, you try not to blend it too much. You basically just pack it on and you might want to blend the edges. Now, just for a little bit of a smoky look, I am going underneath of that eyeliner I just put on with a little bit of the violet color. And it just ties everything together and gives it a little bit of a pop of color underneath, gives it a bit of a smoky eye look. You do the same with the other side, and I tried to lean in a little bit closer so you guys can see what I'm actually doing. I'm trying to apply the purple without smudging too much of the black eyeliner. And now for the lashes. This is the Benefit They're Real Tinted Primer. I just got this in my Birchbox, and guys, oh my, I love it. I was using one from Chanel. That was an eyelash primer, and it was fabulous, but this one I feel is better. Basically due to the brush. At the end of the brush, there is a little spiky ball that helps you get all of those little lashes that are in between and towards the corners of your eyes. Now, there is a trick of applying any type of mascara to anyone who has hooded eyelids. you have to basically look down and tap on the mascara, which this isn't mascara, but it's tinted, so it does have a color to it. And you have to keep looking down. Do not let your eyelashes touch your upper lid because you will ruin the masterpiece that you have just created with your eyeshadow. So it is a bit of a learning curve to do that, but it is so worth it. I've seen other people on YouTube, mainly beauty gurus, who can just go right in looking straight ahead and put that mascara on like it's nothing, and not 1 ounce of it touches the upper lid. In my case with the hooded eyelids, I would have little black dots all over if I didn't do it this way. So I'm just going in and applying and making sure that I've gotten every lash. I like to put the wand at the base of the lash and pull it up, and also I put it at the base of the lash and wiggle it up. So now you gotta let it dry. So I stand there and I wait and I wait and I wait, and thankfully this is a quick drying lash tint primer, or whatever it is, tinter primer, and it dries fairly quickly. So I was able to start on my lower lashes. Now, another thing is a lot of people say, why do women make strange faces? Women or men. I'm leaving out the guys here. There are guys who like to wear makeup, and I'm totally cool with that. But there are a lot of people who say, why do you make these funny faces when you put mascara on? And I'll tell you the reason for that. When you open your mouth or you pull your lips in and make your mouth tighter, you are pulling your lashes away from the skin that is underneath of your lashes. And that is why we do that, so that we won't get the mascara onto our skin. For mascara, we are using the Smashbox X-rated mascara in black. I really like this mascara, and one thing that you'll learn from me is I am a mascara junkie. I absolutely love mascara. I've tried almost every brand there is out there. This one I got in my Birchbox, and I'm really liking it. Again, you're going to use the same technique where you have to actually look down when you are doing the upper lashes. What's pretty cool about this mascara is, first off, I got some in my hair. Don't you hate that? A little stray hair hanging down that, of course, caught the mascara wand. This wand is actually almost shaped like an X, which is pretty cool because it gives it a different, flatter dimension to the bristles. And you feel like you can just really get down to the base of your lashes and wiggle it right up. So as you'll see, again, that technique, looking down, making sure my eyelashes aren't too close to my lids so that I don't transfer any of the product. After applying 2 coats and allowing that to dry, I am now on to the lower lashes. And again, using the same technique with that goofy mouth movement to pull the lashes away from the skin, and just basically trying to catch every little lash that you can to get it definitely saturated with product. Now time for cleanup. Where would we be in life without Q-tips? Oh my goodness. I go through so many Q-tips. And I have found that it is worth it to buy the Q-tip brand name because they're just sturdier. I actually ran it under the sink and moistened the tip and then squeezed out the excess water. And then I just go around the under eye and clean up any areas that kind of got some product on there that I didn't want there. And now for the brows. This is the Ulta Brow Pencil in warm brown. I feel like it's actually a little too dark for my hair color now. I was always blonde my whole life up until I was about a teenager, and then I actually colored it blonde. Always used a blonde pencil. About 5 years ago, I started going reddish, burgundy, different type of color, and I was using a darker brow pencil. Although it looks like it matches fairly well on camera, I feel like it is too dark. But for now, it works. So I'm just basically filling in my brows. Once they are filled in, I do go back in with the spoolie and just fix them up, blend that color out a little bit. And then I'm going in with the Benefit Gimme Brow. Oh my. This is in the shade 3, which again is one shade too dark. But this stuff, Benefit Gimme Brow, I am obsessed with. It comes with almost like a very teeny tiny mascara wand, and it has actual fibers in it that stick to your brow hairs. It helps to fill them in, and my goodness, this stuff is amazing. I absolutely love it. It is one of my brow holy grails now. So then after I fill them in with that, I am letting it dry a little bit. It is a little bit of a wet formula. And then I'm just going back over them with the spoolie to make sure that they lay down. I have very thick, curly, kinky hair, and my eyebrows are no exception. They are the same. They are thick, curly, kind of kinky texture, so I have to make sure that I get them to lay down and stay where I put them. Now for the lips, I am just going in with a basic lip moisturizer. This is the Palmer's Cocoa Butter formula. I didn't show it because I use it so often. It's always in my purse and the label is pretty much worn off. But I just put a very thin coat on and kind of dab it off. And then I'm going in with this beautiful Marc Jacobs lipstick. It is in the color 216, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Not that my camera would focus in on it, and without glasses, I would never be able to read it. But it is a beautiful formula. I really love the color and the texture. Now, I normally go after matte colors. This is a creamy color. It is a moisturizing type of formula. It glides on like a dream, and it stays somewhat moist. Not sticky like a lip gloss, not creamy like an actual lipstick. It has some moisture content to it, but it's not overbearing. Now, like I said, it glides on like a dream. There's my little kissy face. And once you blot a little bit of it off, it just dries perfectly. It still has a little bit of moisture to it, but it's not all that transferable. If you use a straw or something like that, you don't get a lot of lipstick on the straw. So that for me is key. So this is pretty much my finished look. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. I did forget to record this, but I used the Urban Decay Deslick Makeup Setting Spray.